So as I've been going live on TikTok and being a little bit more interactive with the people that I coach and that I talk to, people are always surprised whenever, if you're 300 pounds, your deficit is in the 3,000 calorie range. When you're 250, your deficit is in like the 28 to 3,000 calorie range, right? Obviously, those numbers are just thrown out there. But you got to understand, guys, because I always have to explain this. So I'm going to make this video, and if anybody on the live ever asks, you're probably watching this video because I'm just going to point you here. You need to understand, when you're starting your fat loss journey, the game that you're playing whenever you need to lose, there's really like 3 pillars. You have like the 10 to 15 pound weight loss. You're probably going to eat very little for a very short amount of time. And when I say little, I'm not talking 1,400 calories. It's really most likely going to be 1,600 to 2,000 depending on your specific weight. So that's number one. But number two, the second cam is, okay, I need to lose anywhere between usually 30 pounds all the way up to 60 pounds. Okay, well now you're probably going to be on a fat loss journey from anywhere between 6 to 8 months if you do it correctly. You're usually going to be eating anywhere between 2,200 calories to 2,800 calories. And then you got the people who need to lose 100 pounds, which are usually in the camp of like 280 to, I don't know, roughly 350, right? Like that's the range that I usually see. And once you're in this range, you're talking about being in a fat loss journey for a year to upwards of 3 years, right? Depending on your height and your weight. Like somebody who's 5'4" at 330, you might be on a fat loss journey for about 2 to 3 years before you officially hit that goal, depending on the goal. Obviously, you could cut this in half if you decide to starve yourself, which don't. That's the whole reason I'm making this video. Versus somebody who's 6'7" and 330 pounds, right? It's going to be a short time frame, height to weight, all that, right? But the reason I always have you guys eating a lot more than what you think is because bullshit dietitians who your doctor refers you to or your doctor are going to tell you to severely undereat. If you're 300 pounds, in no world should you be eating 1,600 calories, and in no world, if you are eating 1,600 calories, do you feel healthy, or are you not losing weight? Like, you're not just gonna be like, oh man, but I'm eating 1,600. I'm not losing weight at 1,600. What? You're telling me to eat 2,600? What? No, you're not eating. You're not eating that low, or you would be losing weight. It'd be physically impossible. But now that we get into the reason, now that you have an understanding of the camps and everything and how your dietitian is fucking lying to you, the real camp here is or the real strategy and the reason behind eating high instead of starting low is if you're in this camp of eating 26, 27, 28, all the way up to 3,000 to 3,200 calories in a deficit, you need room to adjust. If you are going to be losing weight for the next 6 to 24 months, in this 6 month to 24 month period, you're going to hit plateaus. So, for example, let's say that you want to lose 100 pounds and you give yourself 15 months, right? About a year and a half, roughly. Well, within the first 3 months, you might lose your first 20 pounds. You're going to have to go through trial and error. It's going to start off a little bit slower. You lose your first 20 pounds. Then you hit a plateau. Well, now you're going to have to make an adjustment, which means you're probably going to have to cut down 250 to 400 calories. Then you're going to go and lose another 20 to 40 pounds. That might take another 2 to 4 months. Well, now you're going to have to drop your calories again, break the plateau, right? And you're going to have to do this like 3, 4, 5 times. And so if we start you off at 3,200 calories, which is your deficit depending on your weight, especially if you need to lose 100 to 150 pounds, that is still a deficit, even if it's a lot of calories. Well, within the next 3 to 4 months, you went from 3,200 calories down to, let's say, 2,700 calories. Within another 4 months, you're probably going to go from 2,700 calories down to 2,300 calories. But the problem is, if you start off super low, if you start at 2,300 calories, within that same 6 month time frame, you're going to be at what, 15, 16, 1,700 calories? And you still haven't even hit your weight loss goal. So understand, guys, you need to start high so that you have enough wiggle room and enough bandwidth and enough endurance within the numbers that you have to actually have enough calories to make the right adjustments. Because by the time you guys, look, if you still have 50 pounds to lose and you're already like you started too low, and by the time you still have 50 pounds to lose, you're still like eating, they'll say 1,400 calories. If you have 50 pounds to lose, that means you still weigh quite a bit. And if you still weigh quite a bit, that means 1,500 calories is not giving you your body the nutrients that it needs to actually lose the body fat. And so what's going to end up happening is, for my women out there, hormonally, you're going to get messed up. You're going to be more having attitude, anxiety, overwhelm, depression symptoms. You're going to start missing your period. For my men out there, your testosterone's going to shrink. You're going to have to start struggling to go to sleep. You're not going to recover. You're not going to put on muscle. You're going to hold on to more body fat at that level. Keep in mind, you still have 50 pounds to lose. So even though you're struggling with these symptoms, you have to make another adjustment by the time you lose your next 20 to 30 pounds. So you go from 1,500 down to 1,100. And most of you guys aren't going to do that, right? You're just going to be like, oh, I feel horrible. My dietitian's a liar. Most dietitians are, because they start you too low. But you're like, oh, man, I don't understand it. I don't get it. Like, why do I feel such crap even though I weigh less? It's got to be something else. It's got to be my metabolism, my hormones. It's maybe I'm just not meant to do things. No, you're just doing shit wrong. That's it. You got the wrong advice. You're doing things wrong. That's all it comes down to. And it's not your fault, because most coaches are garbage. Most coaches are lying to you. Most coaches are trying to get you into aggressive fat loss so that they look good on paper, so that they can take a screenshot of your weight graph in their coaching program and say, oh, in 6 months he lost 100 pounds. But they're not going to post about the fact, a year later you're 120 pounds heavier, right? So it's not your fault. Like, I'm not hating on you, but I do think that to get it through your head, you do need it very upfront and in your face. You're doing things wrong. And so understand too that if you're at this level, you're not going to get consistent. If you're not going to get consistent and you just give up, you're never going to lose the weight. So get uncomfortable eating a lot, buckle your fucking seatbelt in, guys, and be patient. Be patient. That's the number one thing. Be fucking patient. You did not get to 300 pounds in 6 months. Yeah, you didn't. You didn't. There's no way. So you're not going to get down to 200 pounds in 6 months. Give yourself 12 months. Give yourself 15 months. Give yourself wiggle room. And now the second thing is, oh, but I can't. I've tried to lose weight and I can barely be consistent for 2 months. The diet's just too brutal. Now, go back, rewind, listen to every single reason why I said that why the diet was brutal. Because you're severely under eating. My client, David, he lost 150 pounds, put on over 100 pounds. With some exercises, he put on 200 pounds of strength. On his incline press, he put on 90 pounds of strength per arm, all right, with dumbbells. And in this process, he lost 150 pounds, and he was training jiu-jitsu as well. But he was going up. Bro, he texted me the other day. He was like, bro, it was my birthday, bro. I took me and my son out. We had a ton of sushi. It was amazing. I put on 5 pounds. Don't worry, I'll lose it again. We got him locked back in. And he still goes out to eat like 3 times a week. 2 to 3 times a week. And that 5 pounds of water retention he put on from eating sushi, bro, he's down 7 pounds since then. And I think it's been 8 days, right? So he's lost a net positive. He still lost 2 pounds. So you guys got to understand, like, yes, you're not going to be able to be consistent for 6 months, even if that's what it takes if you do the wrong thing, let alone being consistent for 15 months. But if you can find a strategy where you're not starving yourself, where it's not miserable, where it feels like you're eating like a normal person, and it doesn't feel like a diet, 12 months ain't nothing, dude. I've been doing this shit for 10 years. I had ramen noodles yesterday, all right? I had Popeyes last week and Little Caesars in the same week. But everything outside of the Popeyes and Little Caesars is locked in. So if I have a craving, I have enough calories because I'm not starving myself to where I can fit in, one of those days in the week, a craving without going crazy overboard. And I'm still going to be in a deficit. And it's the same thing for you if you get the right blueprint. Now, I'm not going to try to sell you on the program, right? I don't do sales calls. I don't do anything like that. But if you want to know what my opinion is based on your situation, I do have a coaching program. DM me on TikTok at BT Shreds. Message me on TikTok. I'm not really on Instagram right now as I'm making this video, so I'm probably not going to answer you. But message me Blueprint in all caps on TikTok specifically at BT Shreds if you're not coming from TikTok. And what I'll do is I'll ask you a few expansive questions to see specifically where you're at. I'll send you over my questionnaire if I feel like I can help you for where you're at. And you have to be 18 plus. You got to have a job, obviously. Like I said, I'm not going to waste your time on a call. What I will do is I'll send you a game plan video customized with me going over your questionnaire and everything. I'm not going to hard sell you anything. I'm too fucking busy with that. I got too many clients for that. I don't need to be doing all that. So just DM me the word in all caps Blueprint I'll ask you a few questions, send over my questionnaire. And worst case scenario, you fill out the questionnaire, I send you the custom game plan video, you don't buy anything, but I lay out the 3 things that you're doing wrong and the 3 things that you need to focus on. Do it, don't do it, get help, don't get help. I got a 6-pack. My clients are getting amazing shape. It is what it is, right? I would love to help you. And hopefully, you know what, fuck that, dude. Hopefully this video did help you, you know? That's the whole point. This video is not here to get clients. It's here to help you guys and expand. So, but if you have any questions, let me know. Peace.